you lead a congregation of people who have a lot of leadership roles in systems.
Right.
And with both your law and theology backgrounds, you have two really keen professional perspectives on systems. So how do we hold that when it gets overwhelming, like the systemic part? Like, oh my goodness, the system is such a mess. If I look at my tag on my clothing, like, oh my goodness, who made this? And like, what person suffered,
right,
et cetera.
And can I even know? Right?
Yeah, can I even really know?
Part of the strangeness of this information moment in the world is that we are given so much information, but I think it's harder and harder to discern what is real, what is true, what is helpful. How do I get to something that's even actionable? I think is the first question. I'm not sure that we ever get to a place where the systems are right. I was in a conversation with someone recently about this, and it was a conversation about joy, and they were talking about how hard joy is sometimes in moments when the world is really so broken in so many ways.
Yeah.
And the zone of brokenness is just flooded, and it's a burden to even intake all of that information. And this person was asking me, well, how do you have joy when there is still this? And this isn't a great answer, perhaps, but it's mine. I think it is always a both and. I think the world is always broken, perhaps in different ways, perhaps in different degrees, and that joy is going to have to be a choice we're working at and keeping alongside, so that two things can be true at the same time, that the world can be broken and on its way to something that we have not yet seen, and we can still practice joy even in the midst of that brokenness. And I think there's something to that with Micah 6:8 and thinking about the bigness of the command, right? Back to our conversation about advocacy and people being sort of daunted by systems level work. The word justice, come on, it's too big. What does do justice even mean? Can I make the world just? Right? If my metric is changing the justiceness of the whole world, I will be paralyzed with fear and wildly unsuccessful.
Miserable for a long time.
It won't happen. It won't happen while I'm here, right? This is God's future, and I don't know when it is, but it's probably not something that I will get to see. At the same time that's true, there's absolutely immediate work every single person can do. Yeah. On both that one-on-one level, right? We may not like to admit it, but we see all the time people in our own lives, people we actually know, who are without the same power, without the same resources, without the same representation, without the same opportunity. And changing that for one person is an act of doing justice, right? Modeling how you lead, whose voices you invite and lift up, how the systems of your big important thing employ people or consume or give or use resources in your community. All of that is justice.
Yes, it is.
Or it isn't, right? So this doing justice bit becomes, not to be scary about it, but if that becomes a paradigm, it can be expressed in every sphere of your life. How you interact with one person outside the train station, how your board of directors uses company resources globally. Same expression.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah,
accessible to all of us.
Exactly.
All of us.
And Micah doesn't let anybody off the hook for that.
That's right.
By the way. Come on, everybody. We're all doing it.